As a new single teen mom,
I'm quivering out of scaredness. Is that all it's
layer
gonna
divides into three germ layers. To do with that, the three germ layers actually split up.
Charge of the skin, brain, and spinal cord, most importantly.
names that I remember, like Alatrois.
So I'll be rescheduling.
Shabby.
Oh, great. So how's the pregnancy going? Your embryo is now known as a fetus. And since organogenesis, what is happening is that the large stage is about the size of a nickel.
Oh, frig. You got a light?
I'll have the listed chloride of the embryo and the blood pooling in the endometrium of the mother.
Ah, the great gift of a baby. How wonderful it is. The scene is set at a doctor's appointment. Newly impregnated Mama Scotty here has a lot of questions. As a new single teen mom who decided to keep the baby, Scott is very excited but scared. What is going on down there?
What's really going on down there?
Due to the mass amounts of sperm released, every sperm is fighting to be the quickest swimmer and reach the correct fallopian tube, the quickest to implant itself in the egg. Although many are eager to push forward, some of them are already dead when they get released and have no chance of making it. Currently, the sperm has just entered the vagina and is currently making its way towards the oviduct, which is most commonly known as the fallopian tube, which contains the ovum for fertilization released from the ovary. At this point, the ovum is released and the sperm is moving towards it to achieve fertilization inside the fallopian tube. Once the sperm reaches the ovum, fertilization can occur and the two gametes merge together to form one zygote. On its way to implantation, the zygote undergoes cleavage in the oviduct. Cleavage is the division of the cell without any growth occurring in the cell itself. This process occurs until it is at a 16-cell stage, where the zygote is then known as a morula. Inside the morula, a space opens up called the blastocell, causing the morula to be renamed the blastula. The blastula now contains an inner cell mass which will develop into the embryo later on. It also has the trophoblast, which becomes the chorion, the outer layer. After approximately 7 days, the blastula ruthlessly implants itself in the thick layer of the endometrium.
Oh, that sounds harsh.
Oh, it is, Scotty, man.
Oh, I'm quivering out of scaredness. Is that all that's gonna happen?
Oh no, there's more, Hoffman. Wait, is scaredness even a word? Do you mean fear?
Shut up.
Now that the blastula is implanted, a process called gastrulation occurs, where the inner layer divides into three germ layers.
Ew, I don't want germs inside of me. Are they contagious?
Oh no, little does Scott know, it has nothing to actually do with that. The three germ layers actually split up and form organs of the baby human body.
I'll draw it out for you. Basically, each of these three layers is in charge of something different. The ectoderm is in charge of the skin, brain, and spinal cord, most importantly. The mesoderm is in charge of the muscles, skeleton, gonads, and circulatory system, among other things. While the endoderm is in charge of the liver and pancreas construction.
Oh, noted.
What's your favorite food? Scott and candy?
It's actually eggs. I like the yolks.
Oh, perfect. This makes this segment a lot easier.
Due to time restrictions on the editing software, it is easiest to explain the extraembryonic membranes in this fashion. The extraembryonic membranes are formed after implantation and consist of four main membranes. Firstly, we have the chorion, which is the outer membrane of the embryo. It secretes HCG to maintain the corpus luteum. Most importantly, it secretes the highest amount during the first trimester of pregnancy. It is also the fetal contribution to the placenta. Secondly, we have the amnion, or amnion, which is the inner membrane. It completely encloses the embryo and contains the amniotic fluid, which protects the embryo from trauma, temperature fluctuations, and infections. Thirdly, we have the allantois, which becomes the umbilical cord eventually. It carries blood between the embryo and placenta, although it mostly degenerates in the second trimester. Fourth, we have the yolk sac, which in humans only forms red blood cells, while in other animals it provides nutrients. Another important part of the pregnancy is the placenta. The placenta allows exchange of some substances between the mother and fetus. From the mother, the baby or the fetus can receive nutrients, oxygen, and antibodies when needed. However, it also receives the viruses, drugs, and alcohol if they are taken. There is no exchange of blood cells in the placenta, as the fetus and the mother can have different blood types, and it can be fatal if they mix. The placenta is formed when the villi from the chorion extend into the endometrium. It is not fully developed until the second trimester. However, in the third and second trimester, it secretes estrogen and progesterone.
You understand, Scott?
Well, I used to take a little bit of French. It's good to see some names that I remember, like Al and Trois.
So I'll be rescheduling you for your first trimester.
Okay, I'll leave.
Welcome back to the office, Mrs. Scott. How are you feeling?
Oh, not too shabby.
Oh, great. So how's the pregnancy going?
My embryo is doing pretty well, but I don't know if he's growing though.
Well, now that you're passed through your 9th week of pregnancy, your embryo is now known as your fetus. And since organogenesis is the main priority right now, you won't start to see growth until the 3rd trimester.
Oh, I meant to call it my fetus and organogeneticist.
That's a classic rookie mistake, but organogenesis is the formation of cells within the baby. Basically, what is happening is that the body's making sure that the fetus is there before it starts to grow.
Oh, so how big is it now?
Do you have a quarter?
Indeed.
Actually, it's about the size of a nickel.
Well, frig. You got a light?
Are you serious? Smoking while you're pregnant? That's a tragedy.
Come on, let a girl live.
I'm serious, Scott. Especially smoking. It's one of the worst things you can do when you're pregnant, especially since you're in the first trimester. The baby is more susceptible to being affected. I don't have the list with me of the bad effects on me right now, but I'll give it to you on your next appointment. See you in 3 weeks.
Fine, I'll leave then.
We now join Dr. Lucio and Mrs. Scott Hoffman at their third and final appointment at the office. Scott just has a couple more questions to ask Dr. Lucio before the birth process begins.
Dr. Lucio, I heard there's something else growing down here. What's really going on?
That would be your placenta. It is a temporary organ made from the chorion of the embryo and the blood pooling in the endometrium of the mother. The placenta allows the developing fetus circulatory system and the mother's circulatory system to exchange nutrients and metabolic wastes. The blood cells are kept separate, but molecules such as oxygen, nutrients such as glucose, fats, and proteins, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste can diffuse back and forth.